happened? What happened to me? Where did I go? Why can't I see? Oh, there I am. I'm like, what happened? What's going on? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Crypto Crow, and yeah, that was really weird. Interesting. So anyway, we're going to be talking about the top crypto assets under $1 for people that are maybe new to the industry, new to cryptocurrencies, and just don't know. They're not quite sure what to do. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a lecture. And we're going to touch on a bunch of other stuff, some crypto news. We've got some Cardano news. We've got a little of everything today. It's about 4:28 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm going to touch on a lot of different stuff. Hopefully we're going to be live on X and YouTube this afternoon. And yeah, we're just going to cover a bunch of stuff and try and help some people out a little bit. We're going to talk about SETS token. I've got an Ellie Pal wallet update for those of you that love to use hardware wallets to store your crypto assets. Ellie Pal's been a supporter, a sponsor of mine for quite a while now. And they reached out saying, hey, you know, we're down to sponsor a video if you guys can let everyone know about an update. So I've got a big Ellie Pal update. They've added some more tokens recently, which we're going to cover. And so, yeah, I mean, we're just kind of letting those notifications pop up for everyone. I've been super busy working on ClaudeBot. I've got ClaudeBot running. Weird things are happening though, and I'm like locking down security and things because I'm not 100% sure what's what. I think the bot has been trying to access certain things, and I'm getting notifications, and I'm like, okay, well, we're going to change that, and we're going to change that. So it's kind of weird. I'm probably not going to let that run overnight anymore, just to be on the safe side until more is learned about. And I've also learned that using the Anthropic API to run your ClaudeBot or your MoltBot, went from one dumb name to another. I don't know what the deal is with that, but it's absolutely insanely pricey. I mean, it's almost I mean, it's nuts. So I'm looking for alternatives where I just want to run everything locally, without using paid APIs, and then just let my bot grow with the times as things are updated. Because I've got a Mac Studio with 98 gigs of RAM, and it's still not really enough to run some of the bigger models out there. So I don't know. But anyway, we're going to get to some things. This is the SETS token YouTube channel. This is brand new. And these are a lot of like new videos that were just blasted. I don't know why he just uploaded all of these like all at the same time, which I don't know why we did that. I thought we were supposed to drip feed it, but it is what it is. But these are all sorts of things, like basically for newcomers that are learning crypto. And that's at the @SETS token YouTube channel for those of you interested. Now, we're going to get into some of the crypto assets out there that are, and you guys will have to let me know if I'm getting any kind of weirdness in my stream. Let me see, what's this notification? No, everything looks to be pretty good. So hopefully that stays good. But I noticed that the chat isn't going. So I don't know if there's a delay or what's happening. I have no clue. It's always something. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and go through this video anyway, because I think this should help some people understand what's going on. So obviously, most of us are waiting for the market infrastructure bill, and we're waiting for a lot of integrations, institutions. There are a lot of ETFs that have been piling up, waiting to be approved. And if we look at CoinGecko, you can see we've got 1, 2, I don't even really want to count that. We've got a couple stable coins. So technically Cardano is still in the top 10 of the crypto market capitalization. Welcome. I'm glad to see I'm glad to see the chat still going. And so, but the thing of it is a lot of these assets are extremely expensive. $89,000 for a Bitcoin, $3,000 for Ethereum, BNB tokens, $900. XRP's under $2, which that could be a buy, but you've got Solana, it's $125, which honestly for Solana, even that's pretty low. There's a lot of stuff going on with Solana though that I don't like, that I think is actually causing a little bit more of a more down pressure than I think a lot of the Solana influencers are willing to admit. I've been blocked. I've had comments deleted from Solana influencer videos, just stating facts and referencing details and things, and they just delete me and like, you know, they know who I am too. So it's like, it's not like they think I'm a bot. They're just really, really protective of the Solana narrative. And I don't know if it's because a bunch of them are being paid and to do it that way. I don't really know. It is what it is. Solana's not going anywhere, I don't think, regardless, unless the entire bottom falls out because of like a big exposure that suddenly everybody cares about or something major happens. And they are, but I don't know if it's the right kind of dangerous. So I don't know. I stay away from it, even though a lot of people like to trade it. There are a lot of reasons for that too. It's just a whole ball of wax, but regardless, this isn't one of my picks because it's well over $1. You know, Tron is it's currently trading at around 29 cents. But here's the thing: I love to use AI, and I love to use AI to understand, basically to do a lot of research for me, to gather data. You know, I mean, a lot of these UI models or the AI models really can dive deep, and they can pull a lot of data from multiple sources. And so I just ran a quick search. For this one, I used Gemini. And so we're going to cover this. We're going to go over what Gemini believes are the top assets under $1 right now. For those of you that want to know that, like, what does AI think? AI's got pretty much everything on lock. And so I've done this in Grok. I've done this in different AI models. In early 2026, the under $1 category is no longer just for penny stock style gambles. Many projects with legitimate institutional partnerships and high on-chain utility are currently trading in this range due to their high circulating supplies. I don't think it's just that. Obviously, it's where we're at in the market and everything going on with the infrastructure bill and all these different things. If you're looking to allocate $5,000 across 5 assets that prioritize security, adoption, and actual use while staying under the $1 mark, here are 5 to focus on. And that was my prompt for this. If I had $5,000 and wanted to invest in crypto assets, but nothing priced higher than $1, which 5 should I focus on? That's all I said. I didn't give it any focus on this. I didn't try to load this in any way, saying, basically, I didn't try to like load this up to get Cardano as a response. I gave it a very broad question. I did talk about Cardano previously, but it was a completely different thing and very much irrelevant. I was just looking for some news, looking for some things related to it. But anyway, the number one asset on this list is, of course, Cardano. I mean, for a multitude of reasons, but these explanations are fairly brief. Current price is 35 cents. Cardano is slow and steady. And if any of you are married, you know, slow and steady does typically win the race, unless it's a wild time. Then you got to get a little more exciting. But ultimately, slow and steady does win the race. It's all about the rhythm, okay? Of course, that's when I get a gamer crow in my chat. Don't get excited. Anyway, while it hasn't seen the same price explosion as Solana, its security is top tier. Why it fits with the 2026 Laos. I never know how to say that. I just call it Laos. I know people want to correct me. It's just Laos is easier. Upgrade, increasing its speed to over 1,000 TPS in the launch of the Midnight Privacy sidechain. Cardano is finally closing the utility gap. It remains a favorite for long-term holders who value peer-reviewed security over hype. And there are so many things to break down in this because it's so true. We can cover a lot of the different nuances of Cardano and how it compares and how it's competing with other assets in the blockchain space. But the reality is 1,000 transactions per second doesn't really mean much when you're talking about Hydra in addition to Laos. Because every one of these Hydra heads is going to be able to process 1,000 transactions per second. So, and then I think, I mean, every node, basically the TPS is such an exponentially growing number once Laos kicks off and more groups are using Hydra nodes. This just starts blowing everything out of the water. I've done a million calculations as to what the actual TPS could be with just like 1,000 Hydra heads running, and it gets into like millions a second. All right. Now, the thing that goes even beyond this is when you're talking about Cardano and its throughput. I reference it as throughput. Basically, you could have 1,000 transactions per second, but unlike all these other chains that are basically a 1-for-1 transaction, Cardano's transactions can have, 250, 300, 400 different data points in each of those transactions. So, and then when you, and then you can add to it from there's so many layers to this. Okay. And I don't want to get bogged down with all of the nuances of Cardano, but quite frankly, with it being the most secure, the most decentralized, and quite frankly, the most capable blockchain out there with, basically the most glowing reputation and all of these things that should matter most, a lot of these chains are being judged based on total value locked. Well, Cardano doesn't make you lock up your assets. So it's not a part of that argument or a part of that equation for the most part. It is, depending on what, like if you're talking about a DeFi application, you're trying to earn yield by locking up this token or that token or whatever. But the reality is you don't have to lock your assets up. You don't have to lock them to get a yield. And oh, well, I can't touch my ADA for 6 months because I locked it up for X amount of yield. You don't have to do that like you do on other chains. It's a part of what makes Cardano so great. You can generate a passive yield just holding the token, and you can use the tokens whenever you want to. So, a lot of the old ways that the second generation or even third generation technology is measured, TVL, TPS, all these things, Cardano has taken all of those metrics and dunked them like a donut in hot coffee and said, this is not the way we're doing this. We're doing this a better, more efficient way. And someday, when these pay-to-play narratives have died down, as a lot of the assets that have been faking it till they make it, or they're out of money, or they're out of validators, or they can't afford to keep the validators happy, so they keep dropping off, like whatever it is that like causes a lot of these houses of cards to crash down. I'm not saying they're not going to be used. I'm not saying they're not going to have their use case, but I think the proof is in the pudding, and the cream is definitely going to rise to the top. And I think that's going to become more and more abundantly clear as we get through 2026. So anyway, second on this list is Polygon, formerly Matic. Current price is only 21 cents. Polygon is effectively the corporate gateway to Ethereum. It rebranded its token to POL to serve as a hyper utility token for its new aggregated layer architecture. Why it fits? It has the most impressive Rolodex of institutional partners, including Starbucks, Nike, and JP Morgan. If you believe Ethereum will win the enterprise war, which it does seem like it's likely, I mean, like we all want to say Cardano will, but every chain is going to have its use case and have its level of adoption and acquire a certain portion of the Bitcoin dominance when Bitcoin's dominance begins to actually fall under 59%. Okay. So that's happening, but Polygon is the infrastructure making it happen at scale. And I know that, I've always liked Polygon. I don't hold any or anything, but I appreciate what it does for the space. Hedera H bar. This is something that to me has been a sleeper in the markets for a long time. And you guys know I fought at Karate Combat back in Mexico City a year ago, and Karate Combat's number one, their primary sponsor is HBAR, Hedera, Hashgraph. And they do a lot of cool stuff, man. And, Karate Combat has grown. It's an international thing. They're all over the world putting events on, putting great fights on. They're building the caliber of fighters. Like they just recently brought on, Sam Alvey, who's a UFC veteran, but he's been there for a while cleaning house. But beyond him, was it Uriah Hall? Uriah Hall, Mr. Spinning Back Kick himself, who could probably spin back kick a engine block out of a truck. But anyway, that's just one of their things. And Hedera Hashgraph, its technology is very, very unique. And it's something that I've always noticed a long time ago, but its adoption has waned. I shouldn't say waned. It's been improving. It just didn't go anywhere fast for the longest time and flew under the radar for a lot of people. But like Cardano, I believe Hedera H-Bar is going to have its time to shine. It's just a matter of time. Its current price is only 13 cents. But what's funny is that I was involved in like when I fought for Karate Combat, I'm pretty sure that H-Bar was only like 5 cents. So it's been growing and doing well. Hedera isn't a traditional blockchain. It's a hash graph. It is governed by a council of massive global corporations like Google, IBM, Boeing, and Dell. It is built specifically for enterprise use, supply chains, verifiable AI, and national digital currencies. In 2026, it is seeing a surge in real-world asset tokenization, making it one of the most fundamentally boring but stable assets under a dollar. I mean, I really don't see a reason why anybody shouldn't have a bag of H-Bar, honestly. I definitely think that's going to continue getting better. Number 4 on this list is Stellar Lumens, XLM. You can basically think of Stellar Lumens as the more decentralized version of XRP, okay? Current price is only 15 cents. If Ripple XRP is for banks, Stellar is for the people and the on-off ramps of the global economy. That's a tall order. It is the primary network for Circle's USDC payment rails and has massive institutional backing from firms like Franklin Templeton, who issued a $400 million plus money market fund on Stellar. Its 2026 focus is PayFi, merging traditional payments with decentralized finance. I'm looking at these prices and I'm looking at these assets, and some of these have been assets I've been talking about for years. And I really, truly believe that this crypto market infrastructure bill is going to light a lot of these assets on fire in 2026 in a good way. It's going to light a fire under their asses. That's what I wholeheartedly do believe. Algorand, ALGO, current price is only 18 freaking cents, people. Often called the green blockchain, Algorand was founded by Turing award-winning cryptographer Silvio Micali. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. I'm not Italian. I don't even know if that's Italian. Could be Brazilian. I have no idea. People, when it comes to accents and where people are in the world based on their names, I'm clueless. And I'm the first to admit it. Why it fits. It is technically superior in terms of speed and finality. Transactions cannot be reversed or forked. It is heavily used by governments and international organizations like the UN for transparent aid distribution and carbon credit tracking. I mean, these are significant use cases, and yet, don't we find it interesting that some of the most widely adopted, widely used enterprise chains in crypto are all trading at such low prices, while some of the most degenerate assets in the crypto space are over $100? Make it make sense. I mean, I can make it make sense, but Solana holders wouldn't like it very much. This even gives me an asset allocation breakdown. Since these assets have different risk reward profiles, here's a balanced way to split your $5,000. This is given 30% allocation to ADA, highest market cap and largest community. Interesting. Polygon, 25%, direct exposure to the massive Ethereum ecosystem. H-Bar of 20% allocation, pure enterprise play, less sensitive to retail hype, which is true. I mean, this is very accurate to me. I have to say, I'm impressed with, this is Gemini that came up with this. XLM, $750, only 15% allocation, high utility in the global payment and stablecoin sector. And then Algo for 10%, throwing $500. High tech wild card with government level use cases. While XRP is a major institutional asset, as of early 2026, it is trading around $1.80 to $1.90 following its ETF success, which is why it was excluded from your under $1 criteria. I mean, that's pretty telling, man. Honestly, you have to agree with that. And I do. I think that's a very solid list and a pretty proper allocation, if I don't say so myself. So, and if you're big in the crypto altcoin space, obviously, generally what I tell people personally is I say, everyone should have a little Bitcoin, should have some Ethereum, should have some Cardano. Those are the three staples to me personally. It could be different for everyone. A lot of the degenerates are going to say, you got to have Solana, right? Because they're just used to number going up. They don't really care or understand why. Any information that is released or shown on chain or otherwise that explains like the not so good news about why things happen the way they do on Solana, they don't care. They just ignore it. As long as that number keeps going up, they don't care, and they're going to continue pumping it. Which, I guess it's almost like an athlete that takes steroids. It's like, okay, I know this is hurting me. I know that me stacking 4 different 10 different stacking this stuff is definitely to a physical detriment, but I look good and it helps me find a girlfriend. So I don't really care what it's doing to my liver or anything else. And I don't care if my whatever falls off in 5 years, as long as I look good and I'm living the big life now. And I just, that's the mentality I see in a lot of these. I think greed rules some chains. Let's just put it that way. Can we just sum it up that way? Greed rules some chains. Those chains I don't think are going to be around forever. Because I think that in a scenario like that, they can only go so far for so long. And that's just the way I look at it. And it is a slower race for some of us. To me, it's a similar thing to just life in general. If you're not willing to sell your soul to make $1, you're trying to do everything with integrity. You want to do things right. You're not really trying to cut corners. You'll find success. It's just not going to happen as quickly as somebody who's like shady and doing this and pulling that and just trying to do all these things to get ahead at any cost, right? And I just think that is the mentality that causes a lot of issues at some point. So it is what it is. If you store a lot of crypto assets on a hardware wallet, I would suggest checking out Ellie Pal because Ellie Pal really does have some of the best tech, man. They have some of the best gear. I've played with all of them, Trezor wallets, Ledger wallets. I've had them all. I never felt comfortable using them, but I do love my Ellie Pal stuff. As a matter of fact, I still have my favorite thing, and I know I talk about it all the time, but the Ellie Pal, this is the seed phrase steel. It weighs like 100 pounds in this little box. Not really. It's not really 100 pounds, but the latest version update, version 4.10.0. This is for your Ellie Pal Titan 2.0, and new support has been added for MON, GNO, XPL, and SEI networks. So let me see here. Ellie Pal introduces expanded network support and enhanced security features. The new networks supported are Monad, Gnosis, Plasma, and of course SEI. It's funny because the very first one of the very first jobs I ever had was tech support for SEI Data. It was an old dial-up internet service provider. It was the coolest job for me back then. I was such a young nerd, and I worked with a bunch of nerds, and it was just SEI Data. That was the name of it. It was Southeastern Indiana. Super chat. Oh, those notifications. I didn't know those actually worked still. I turned them on recently, and sure enough, there's a £1 donation. Thank you for that. I greatly appreciate it. So I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so I can see your guys' chats a little easier. And I'm going to scroll up a little bit so I can touch base with some of that stuff. So anyway, yeah, new network supported. Monad, Gnosis, Plasma, and SEI are now available for air-gapped storage. I love that air gapped business. Improved DApp contract parsing, optimized recognition of common smart contracts for safer DApp interactions. Now, I have to be honest. I gave my Titan 2.0 to Oren in Orlando. He helped me out a lot, and I felt, you know what, he's getting big into crypto. He's super excited about it. I know he's also like trading options and things now, but I gave him my wallet because I just wanted to give him something special and that I trusted, and so I don't think I've given. I don't think unless it was part of like a contest or of something, I don't think I've ever given a wallet to someone personally until the Ellie Pal. And just because I'm always weird, I'm just weird. Even though a lot of stuff that I get comes directly from the manufacturer, I'm just weird, but I haven't been weird about my Ellie Pal stuff. I love it. I like it. And there's a certain mentality associated with some of the products that they have put out where, you know, they really do want you to keep your stuff secure. Security updates, multiple security enhancements to further protect transaction signing and verification. So if you do have an Ellie Pal wallet, you want to update that now. And these are some of the instructions that you can do that. Just select your gear icon, select about, check if the version starts with Titan 2.0. If not, go to the appropriate update page for your device. Don't worry, we've got more to get to. I'm seeing the viewership numbers growing. I want to make sure we cover a bunch of cool stuff. So that's it. Step one, download the update file. You prepare your card reader, blah, blah, blah. There's a whole bunch of instructions. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to post them in chat. I'm going to post them right here in the super chat for you guys. Oh, my charts came up. It's early. I don't want to do that yet. But I'm going to link you guys to this update guide. Bam. All right. There's your Ellie Pal update guide right there. And that's at ellipal.com, which if you don't yet have one of these wallets, they gave me an affiliate code, but I'm not worried about it. I'd rather just, if you guys can use the tech, use it. Go check it out. And I think that's that for the most part. They just give me notes on what the latest and greatest is, what's going on. And if you don't remember what the Ellie Pal Titan 2.0 looks like, this is it. Honest to God, it's like, it's the nicest wallet I've seen. It really is. And it's got some weight to it too. So like, it's not like a flimsy, like cheapy kind of wallet job. This is like, it's a nice wallet. So if you're looking for a legitimately nice hardware wallet, check out this Ellie Pal. The link's in super chat, and there's a link down in the description below. So you make sure you check it out. And thank you, Ellie Pal, for your support. I really do appreciate it. Big or small. Let's do 3 of these a week, shouldn't we? No, I'm just kidding. We'll see. But anyway, but yeah, check it out. You're going to like it. Full color screen. It's big. It's beautiful. Yeah, that's it for that. Now, looking at my night trade, I have been trading on BidFi, and you know, I'm down a little bit. I'm only trading with, like, I started with $1,000. Got it up to around 1,400, 1,500, and I'm currently down about $200. And I'm only trading right now at 2x. And there's typically been a pretty consistent range. So, you know, it's been basically a recent low of around 5.5 cents and like recent high of around 6 cents. So it's a pretty narrow range here. And this looks like we're incrementally going higher. So, you know, I would love to see this run up to 25 cents at some point in the not so distant future. It's kind of what I'm hoping on, but we'll see what happens there. But I am trading on BidFi. I'm just trading at 2x, and you know, hopefully I'll continue growing this over time. And yeah, like if you're going to trade, I'm here. Let me tell you what's happening. I'll tell you exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm taking my time, and I'm working on building an algorithmic trading bot to trade my BidFi account for me. And once I've got it dialed in and it's working, I have like a whole bunch of PDFs. I have, I've already trained my model on the market maker method that a lot of you guys are learning from Annie at Trade Travel Chill. I'm always in their Discord hitting them up. I love Annie to pieces. She's just fantastic. I wish I could just absorb her trading knowledge. I really do, because I feel like in some ways she's almost psychic. Because when she does a Bitcoin video, if you're not following Annie and Trade Travel Chill on YouTube, you absolutely better get your ass over there and do that. Because when she pops up in the morning, because it's almost like a treat, when she pops up with a video, I know it's good shit, and I put it to work. I mean, that's how confident I am in what Annie has to say. And there isn't another person in all of crypto, to be quite honest. There are a lot of guys I like, a lot of people I like. I really don't think there's anybody with the skills and the talent that Annie has. And I wholeheartedly mean that. There are people that are good. I'm not saying that everyone else sucks. I'm just saying that, like, when Annie says something that it's like, even her flippant comments, her like, well, this could probably happen and here's why, but I'm not counting on it. And then it happens. It's just like insane what she does. But anyway, I'm working on some stuff because I'm playing with my Claude bot. I'm playing with a lot of the functionality. I'm kind of dialing things in and playing with it. But once I get my LLMs established and like what I'm really going to be using on a regular day-to-day basis and all of that, because I really want to use local models. I don't want to use these paid APIs. So I'm just doing some research and figuring out like what is possible, what should I be using on this machine, etc. So I will keep you guys updated on that, but I am creating a bot, because what ultimately, if I create this bot and it's working, like what I basically created today has a 68% win rate. And I'm like, okay, that's actually pretty good. I mean, that really is pretty good. I would like to get it better if at all possible, but you know, we'll see. Okay, we'll see. But I would like to be able to upload it to like GitHub or something. I'm not going to sell it. I just want to create content with it. And if I could teach everybody how to do what I'm doing and then give you guys the means of setting it up yourself, I'm going to do that. I'm not going to charge anything. And if I did charge anything at all, it would be like on cryptocrow.io. I would just release it to members. So, I'm always looking for cool stuff. How much will 10,000 ADA be worth by 2027? If Cardano leads the next cycle? I am hoping to God we don't have to wait until 2027, because if so, I'm starting an OnlyFans for feet. Cardano ADA is quietly showing signs of long-term positioning while much of the market remains cautious. On January 27th, whales accumulated over $161 million worth of ADA as retail continued to sell. Now, can I just make a note real quick that I've been telling you people that this is exactly what's going to happen? I've been saying this for years. When everything really starts to transition, retail's going to dump because they're going to be in fear. They're not going to know what's happening. They don't understand anything other than number go up or number go down, and they're going to freak out and they're going to sell. And while they're selling, the institutions and the people in the know of everything that's going on are going to gobble it up like hungry hippos. How many times have I been saying that over the years? And here we are. And you know what? That's fine by me. I don't even care anymore. I used to really care, and I used to preach this as gospel, and it's difficult to some extent because people can either listen, but at the same time, it's, you know, I have to think, like, I think of my situation and I think of other situations. And I know it's difficult when you're holding assets and maybe you invested more than you could afford to lose. Maybe you did things that you shouldn't have. Maybe you mortgaged your house to get a loan to go buy some Cardano or some Ethereum or whatever. And you're just watching the market be stagnant as we wait for this infrastructure bill and all of this other framework for, you know, basically the growth of the industry, while gold and silver and TradFi and everything else is on the rise. And we're like, why is crypto sitting here? I'll tell you why. For one, I believe that the infrastructure bill is going to basically create a paved golden road for everything to start. Gold, silver, TradFi. I think a lot of the a lot of value is going to pour out of those assets into the crypto sphere. And I think a lot of that is just waiting on the infrastructure bill, however long that takes to go through. But that is what I really think is going to happen. And I think that's why crypto isn't being touched right now. And on top of that, I do believe that there are elements in the world between the wars and the Greenland stuff and the this and the that and the Russia and the China and the all of that that's going on right now. I honestly believe that once that starts to die down and those narratives start to kind of taper off a bit and everything seems to be like, you know, all right, things are a little more established, things feel a little more clear, then people are going to start basically going out of a lot of those risk off assets and they're going to start getting a little more risk on hungry. And I think I think all of this is going to be one grand culmination, and it's probably all going to happen overnight and crypto is just going to explode. Mark my words on this. I do believe that once the crypto infrastructure bill passes, once all of that is done deal, a lot of the wash trading, a lot of the illegal bullshit that a lot of people are still able to do today, that, you know, to pump their assets and to do this and that. I think once a lot of that stuff is wiped and the markets can start moving in a mature way, and then all of that global liquidity starts to filter into the crypto sector, I really think that a lot of us are going to wake up and we're going to just see like 3x overnight across a lot of these assets. I just think it's going to happen very, very quickly, and it's going to catch most people off guard. And by the time everybody wakes up and they see what's happening, a lot of those people are going to think, oh, it's too late. And then they're going to start going into a lot more of the degenerate assets that are cheaper, because they're going to think, oh, I could have bought Cardano at 35 cents, but I didn't do that. And so now it's, you know, $1.50 or $2 or whatever it is. And they're going to look at the meme coins again. And they're going to, and you're going to have all the degenerates all over YouTube, all of the paid narrative, all of that shit is going to kick off trying to attract all of the dummies to pump their money into these, you know, you can buy 12 million of these for a quarter. You're going to be worth it. It makes me sick to my stomach, but we're going to unfortunately have to deal with that again to some extent, even though a lot of people, I'm hoping, are going to be smarter now than they were during the last craze for all that bullshit. Meanwhile, Charles Hoskinson launched midnight a new layer of privacy that he called the crown jewel of Cardano. One Cardano delegate also stirred discussion by pointing out where Cardano may be safer than Ethereum, especially after the latest exploit on the Ethereum side. That comparison caught attention because it came at a time when network security is under the spotlight. What stands out here is not flashy hype, but steady progress. With ADA trading around 35 cents right now, it brings up a simple question. What could 10,000 ADA realistically be worth in 2027? You know, at current price, 35 ADA, 10,000 ADA at 35 cents would cost about $3,500. Therefore, Cardano is one of the more accessible large cap holdings in crypto today, especially compared to some of the other assets, which already have a price in the thousands. For many investors, this is where the appeal starts. Meaningful exposure without requiring a huge upfront commitment. However, the real question is not what ADA is currently priced at, rather what it's going to be. So, why Cardano 26 roadmap matters for price. Cardano's next phase is not about flashy announcements. It is about filling gaps that have limited adoption so far. One of the most important developments in the planned launch of critical integrations. This includes a native tier 1 stablecoin in the Pyth Oracle network. These are not small upgrades. They are basic building blocks needed for serious DeFi, real-world asset platforms, and institutional use. Without reliable price feeds and stable liquidity, large capital simply does not stay on-chain. Then comes Ouroboros Laos, Cardano's most significant consensus upgrade in years. The aim is to lift capacity towards around 1,000 transactions per second. That would put Cardano much closer to faster networks while keeping the careful design it is known for, basically saying it's going to be even better than everything else. Midnight is another major piece. This privacy-focused sidechain targets use cases that require confidentiality but still want compliance. If adopted by enterprises or governments, it would open demand that does not exist in Cardano's ecosystem today. Finally, the upcoming Cardano card aims to make ADA spendable in everyday life, including Apple Pay and Google Pay, without giving up self-custody. That does not directly drive speculation, but it does improve real utility and circulation. This is all going to come together, and it's going to blow minds. If Cardano succeeds in closing its infrastructure gaps, demand for ADA no longer depends only on staking and long-term holding. With stablecoins, oracles, privacy layers, and faster throughput in place, ADA becomes a settlement asset for a much wider range of activity. That includes DeFi, real-world assets, enterprise apps, and payments. The whale accumulation seen in January fits that narrative. Large players rarely accumulate based on one news cycle. They usually position ahead of structural shifts, not after them. Make note of that, because that's right, and that's very accurate, and we're seeing the major accumulation from the whales in Cardano right now. This does not mean price will move in a straight line. It means the conditions for sustained demand could be very different by 2027 compared to today. I think that, honestly, I think a lot of this is going to take place in like this year. I really do. If the Cardano price merely rises to where many large coins have traded in the past, which is $1, then 10,000 ADA will equal 10 grand. This will already be close to 3 times the current value. $2, it goes to 20 grand. If the altcoin cycle is led by Cardano, with the upgrades to the platform becoming successful, then the price could potentially trade between $3 and $4. If this happens, then that would be 30 to 40 grand, basically for an investment of 3,500. I really think that this is extremely conservative. And I know that a lot of people who want to hate on Cardano are like $3 to $4. Yeah, right. Her. I saw all that last cycle and the cycle before it. I had so many people trying to dump on it. But it is what it is. We're going to find out. But ultimately, I think Cardano is going to be a very, very good play. Institutions bet big on Bitcoin despite 30% fall from the peak. They're betting on all of these major assets, folks. That's basically the point of all of this. It's the whole point of all this, everything in this video. The institutions are piling in and they're accumulating while retail is losing their minds, losing patience, and losing their enthusiasm. That is the play. That is why, if I look at Crypto Slate News, every article on that website is bearish as hell. Everything is painting doom and gloom across the board. All of these narratives are coordinated to a large extent. A lot of them are paid for, but it's the same as a company that sells Kiwi, right? And then they pay for all of this media and all of this stuff to basically tell you how healthy Kiwi is. And it does this for you and does that. And it drives the Kiwi market, right? It's the same shit. It's just happening in crypto. And right now, because of the infrastructure bill, because of this pivot, because of real world assets and the transition away from the dollar into stable coins, AI and how AI is ultimately taking everything over inch by inch by inch, foot by foot. AI is encroaching on the livelihoods of everyone out there. If we are going to need digital IDs, whether it's the narrative for digital IDs, it could be for voting and everybody's like, yeah, we got half the country, yeah, we need digital IDs. Really, these digital IDs are going to allow AI to track who we are, what we're doing, basically everything about us, because everything is going on chain. All of our financial transactions, all of our app usage, everything that we do is ultimately going to be on chain, including identity. And it's all going to be monitored, regulated, controlled to some extent by artificial intelligence. Trump is not building all of these major data centers. I mean, not that Trump is building them, but facilitating the build out of a lot of these major data centers for OpenAI and other groups. And these things are going up all over the world. They're not going up all over the world so that we can learn how to do our homework better. These are going up all over the world because these are going to be the centers that are controlling everything, period. From surveillance footage to, you name it. It's all going to be on chain, and it's all going to be monitored by AI. I'm telling you right now, if you think otherwise, you're crazy. There's too much money going into this tech for it to just be used for what we're using it for today. Government doesn't give a shit if, crypto crows knows how to create a SaaS application. That's not what this is about. So Cardano IK structure targets rebound to 3-month price high. The recent Cardano retracement was part of a broader bullish pattern that could potentially drive prices to multi-month highs. Notably, the pattern features a price trend in waves of correction and expansion. Cardano is currently nearing the end of the retracement wave and could enter the next bullish phase. We'll see. Analyst Blue Sky shared an interesting development in the Cardano 1-hour chart in his recent trading view commentary. Specifically, he highlighted the formation of an IK structure where I stands for impulsive and K stands for corrective. An accompanying chart paints a clear picture showing that this pattern works in waves. Specifically, it started taking shape on January 1st with wave A forming when ADA reached the yearly high of 43 cents. Meanwhile, the wave B, which is corrective, started immediately after the end of wave A, with ADA consolidating first until a rejection on January 14th pushed it to recent lows of 33 cents. This could mark the end of wave B if Cardano holds above and breaks above major resistance areas. Currently, Cardano is in a price range consolidating between the support of 34 cents and resistance of 37. If it breaks out of this range, the next major supply zone lies along a descending trend line at 38 cents. After this, it could visit the sequence activate area at the January 6 high of 43 cents. Breaking above this area not only confirms the end of the corrective wave B, but also validates the entire structure. From there, the bullish wave C will be in full force. According to the analyst, the target for this uptrend is 66 cents, almost 67 cents, a price level Cardano last attained in October of 2025. This would mark an 87% increase from the current market price. Okay, well, let's hope. Check out CryptoCrow.io. CryptoCrow.io. What are we doing right now on my W? Looks like we're just kind of ranging a little bit here. This is tightening, and just looking at this right now, let me see here. Was there W in here? This could, yeah, maybe. Is this a rise level? What is this? This is a 15-minute. Interesting. I mean, this looks like a W here. That would have been a rise level 1. I guess this technically would have probably been a rise level 2, but it didn't really get that high. Maybe we see another run up for a rise level 2. We break above 90,000 in Bitcoin, and in that same mark, maybe we can break back up here into the higher 30s. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure. We'll see. We'll see what happens there. If you are a business owner and you need a website, check out dirtyleopard.com. I will build the best damn website you've ever seen for the cost of a WordPress site. All the bells and whistles. It'll load fast, lots of functionality. It'll do things you never even knew were possible with a website, especially for the money. Typical websites range from $3,000 to $5,000. I'm getting ready to put out a new site that I'm just building, and it's basically a full SaaS, but I'm building it for my team, honestly, my sets team. And but man, I can do just about anything. I can clone websites very easily. Well, not very easily, but I can clone them. So if there's something like, hey, I really wish I had my own version of that, I can probably build it. So just reach out. You can initiate a build. You can contact me. You can do a full SEO audit on your website. And when you do that, I get your contact information. And then, of course, I can hit you up and say, hey, what are you looking to do? I see your audit. Your site's probably trash. Let me help you fix it. Check it out, dirtyleopard.com. You can look through my portfolio of sites I've already built and view all projects. And if you really want to know, like, so learn some cool stuff, just check out the articles in the blog, because these are really, really informative. These are going to help you. If you decide you want to try and do some of this stuff yourself, you're welcome to do it. Then you can reach out to me after, when you realize it's a lot more difficult than it looks. All right, let's take a quick look at chat and see if there's anything I'm missing. I'll bring this back up so everybody can see it. And I finally joined the Cardano stake pool. What took you so long, Willy Wonka? Should have been in there a long daggone time ago, but I'm glad you're here now. Thank you. I appreciate that. Crow's always right sometimes. That's right. I'm always right sometimes. H-bar is on the list. Yes, indeed. I've always liked H-bar. I just, I've been in and out with it. Bless you, Crow. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. My bad. That's why I said so, because I forgot the exact number. I'm not sure what we're referencing there, but I'm curious, how many of you guys in chat right now, how many of you guys are using an Ellie Pal wallet? I mean, yes, they're a sponsor and all that. But how many of you guys are using it? And if you are using an Ellie Pal wallet, I'm curious in the comments, am I bullshitting? Like, I would love to see some of you guys that use the wallets, or maybe you pick some up since I started talking about it. Like, am I bullshitting? Is it not like a sick wallet? I mean, the Titan 2.0 really is sick. And I love the steel seed phrase. I just had somebody buy 3 of them, because I'm like, you got to go get these and back up your wallets. Jason, respect from Holland, the Netherlands. Keep up the good work, Crow. Your coins. Thank you. Finance advice in the Netherlands. Now they say there is a crypto meeting at the White House on Monday. Okay. I haven't heard about that yet, but we'll see. I did just set up something on my Claude bot to basically create a daily update every morning for me at 11. So it'll basically message me and it'll say, hey, here's the biggest news on crypto, on Cardano, on midnight and Bitcoin. and then it's basically going to help me kind of lay out an outline for a video every day, so I can start going live every day and have everything pretty much done for me and ready for me when I'm ready. Yeah, everything ready for when I'm ready. Yeah. Generational wealth is created in bear markets. That's true. And I know a lot of people want to argue whether or not we're in a bear or bull market. I absolutely do believe we're in a bear market right now, but I don't think this is going to be the bear market we've all known and loved for so many cycles. I definitely think that things are changing, and we're going to get a big catalyst to how that's all going to change here in the not so distant future. And I think once everybody sees it, because right now everything is kind of playing out as though we are in a typical 4-year halving cycle, and we're not. We're just not. It's just everything that's happening right now to kind of structure our future as it relates to crypto, on-chain assets, the tokenization of everything in the world, because that's happening. Larry Fink's already said this a million times. If Larry Fink says that it's happening, he's basically letting the world know what they've already decided. When these people go out to the World Economic Forum and they make their big, bold speeches on the change of this and the change of that, it's already wheels in motion. This isn't something that they're like, hey, we just thought about this on the plane ride here. No, this is all shit that they've already planned. They've already put it into action. It's already happening. They're just kind of letting the world know this is what's up. And that's it. Everybody knows, everybody covers what's going on there. Been a prolonged alt bear market. Bitcoin got a bull market. I disagree with that. What we're seeing when Bitcoin's price and the rise is we're seeing the ETF adoption. We're seeing new investment vehicles that were established and laid out, many of which were already started in the last market cycle. Those were just coming to fruition recently in the past, year and a half, 2 years. That's what created that big pump that so many of us thought, oh, we're in a bull market now. I don't really think that was a bull market. I'm sorry, but Bitcoin peaking out at 69,000 in the previous market cycle just to basically do a 2x in the next bull cycle, and we think that is somehow like normal, that is like what? No, 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 no. That's not how this works. That was basically a 2x pump because of the ETFs that started kicking off. Do you have any idea how many ETFs are lined up ready to go right now, waiting on final approval? I think a lot of these approvals are basically hanging up because of the infrastructure bill, the Clarity Act. Who decides on the approval of these things? I think that's a part of the holdup. I don't know 100% if that's a part of the holdup, but I know that there are like 14 or 15, there might be 20 ETFs right now that contain Cardano that are waiting on final approvals before they can kick off. I think that what we're going to see is we're going to see a lot of the top assets in the digital reserve and these ETFs, why do you think these institutions are out there dropping, 150, $200 million on ADA right now while retail is running for the hills in fear? Because they're establishing their foothold on these markets before these ETFs launch. So that is what's happening right now. And I know that when we're looking at the numbers and we're looking at the charts and we're looking at a lot of this ranging sideways activity or these dips lower, it's difficult. It's difficult to wrap our head around what's happening. And I know that the sentiment to a large extent is we're going lower, we're going down, nothing's working out, crypto sucks, everything sucks. And you know what? That's exactly the game plan. That's exactly what these institutions are hoping for. You know why? Because they control the narratives across the board, across print media, major news media, you name it. If it reaches your face, your eyes, or your ears in any way, shape, or form, they likely control it. And they control it with their money. And when they're all heavily invested in any of the top assets that are going to be launched with these ETFs, and they want to change the narrative overnight, well, damn it, guess what? They can do that. And they're going to do that as soon as they've been fully invested. The vehicles are ready to launch, final approval from all of this, whether it's the SEC, CFTC, whoever's going to be in charge of all of that. Once that is all done, which it looks like it's not going to be much longer before a lot of that is concluded, the market infrastructure bill, the 70% reduction and all of the more like fraudulent like crypto activity, the wash trading, all of the bullshit that so many of these assets are utilizing to prop themselves up. Listen, the narratives are going to change, and when they change, it's going to happen overnight. It's going to happen with big budgets. And, think about it this way. If these ETFs are going to make percentages of the transactional fees associated with entering an ETF, and, maybe this one got in at $160 million, that one got in for this or that, like whatever it is, do you honestly think for these guys to collectively throw, $20 million into media frenzies and ad campaigns across the globe to spur on in? It doesn't even cost that much. I can put something all over all crypto media for 15 grand tomorrow. Okay. And that's something that everybody's seeing and everybody's reading across every major crypto website out there, like over 100 different websites. Okay. So I can create a narrative tomorrow for 15 grand as one man if I really wanted to. Do you think a few $1,000,000 can't change the narrative while crypto prices are rising and they just keep adding logs to that fire? And within a couple of weeks, we're all of a sudden we're in a bull market again, folks. We're in a bull market because the institutions bought all the ads and everybody's telling me it's a bull market. It's time to get in. And then we're going to start seeing all of these narratives all over the media. How high can Bitcoin get? How high can ADA get? We're going to start seeing that shit each and every fucking day of the week for probably 6 months to a year once that starts kicking off. And all of these institutions that have done everything to suppress the price with their buy walls and all of the bullshit that they've been doing across exchanges all over the place, all of that shit's going to come to an end because they're going to take the lid off of that tea kettle that we're going to hear whistling across Cointelegraph and X and everywhere else, and the retail market is going to dive back in like it's Adult Swim. And once that happens, the prices are going to come back, the prices are going to rise. Everybody out there that's been screaming bear market, bear market, bear market, and they missed the boat because they woke up the next day and everything's freaking up 5-6x. I'm telling you, we've been through this. We've seen it. It's the same playbook. It's just happening differently, and it's happening on a different timeline. So now is the time to start averaging in and preparing, because you want to have a position. Doesn't have to be huge. Doesn't have to be major. I'm not saying go sell your car, sell your house, or go get a HELOC so that you can go buy crypto assets. Maybe we go lower first. I don't know, but I do know that now is a really good time to start averaging into a position, because by the time everything really starts kicking off, it'll very likely be too late for you to acquire much of anything of value at a price that you're not going to kick yourself for not having taken advantage of when you could have. As Warren Buffett always says, you buy when there's blood in the streets. Well, the streets are bloody. Now is the time. Go out there, stake your claim, and wait for all of this stuff that we're waiting on to start coming to fruition. It's going to happen. It's happening right now. They're talking about it in the White House. It's going to happen. You educate yourself, throw in a little bit of faith, and that's about all I can say. All right, that's it, folks. We've been live for exactly 1 hour. Make sure you visit dirtyleopard.com. Hire me to build a website for you so I don't have to sell any of my damn assets. How about that? And until next time, crow your coins, and I'll see you again real soon.